Gibbs, driver of the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing. Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing tonight. We got Matt Mullins, we got Cameron Patrick, and Terri O'Connell sitting off to the side. I'm Roger Brehm. And we're going to have talking about race news tonight and throwing everything around we want to. Got Devin Jones calling in later on in the show. So let's get rolling. Hey guys, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
How you doing? Check out Porto again?
No.
He says that again, like, you know. That's great. That's great.
That was funny. Facebook.
Yeah. Another wet Wednesday. Good thing to be looking at porn.
What is it with this weather? Let's go off on a tantrum on that.
It's global warming. Come on, ease back.
I'll take the warm days for the off days. It's nice to have a nice warm weekend every once in a while.
Yeah, it's going to be 60 tomorrow, and then it's back into the 40s, you know. It's getting everybody sick, and it's just...
Only if you're not healthy. Right. The smokers get that way.
I've not been sick this year. I don't think I've been... I was sick one time last year, and that's it. So it's not about smoking. So we can just leave that one alone.
Yeah.
You're the oddity instead of the norm.
Well, probably. You're probably right about that.
But anyway, what I was talking about a while ago, and for the listeners, the Red Bull team has apparently been purchased by an investor. They did not name who it was. And David Reagan looks to be a shoe-in to be driving the main car. I was trying to get a hold of him today to get him on the show tonight and see if we can't pump him for that information.
Yeah, he may be a little busy with that.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if Brian Vickers is going to be factory set with those guys.
Brian? Never know.
You know, he had an investor group put together at one time to purchase the team. So.
Now, you know we can barely hear you. Right?
It's okay.
I'm all right. Anyway, she was saying Brian Vickers had an investment group trying to go in and buy it. So they failed to do it.
Well, you never know. That might be the investors.
I would guarantee him the ride, you would hope.
Yep.
But anyway, so how'd you like the racing and everything?
That was cool. That was very cool. I was very impressed with it.
You got to meet the people that we talked to on the show?
Got to meet a lot of guys. Met Sammy Wiggins and Mandy Brodell, and we met quite a few actually. And ain't nothing like what we're used to on oval track. It is the camaraderie that was within them guys was just incredible.
Right.
But fight tooth and nail on that ice. But it was we saw that accident. There was a quad accident, and actually a photographer got taken out standing in the infield.
Yeah,
from Hammerdown. And it was like they red flagged it, and every single driver got off their quads and went over to check on the quad driver and that press and the photographer. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, wasn't it? It was really cool.
Right.
Just I was very impressed for being a touring series.
Right.
And these guys are going this week. They're in Colorado. they're back in Pennsylvania twice, and they're in Indiana, I believe, is another place,
Right.
Evansville, Indiana, that they're going to run. And there's guys from Wisconsin. One kid was from California, I believe, that had flown in. Canadian. Yeah, they were from all over. Kansas. There was 3 quads from Kansas there. A quad racer from Wisconsin, who we will have on the show here in the next couple of weeks. I mean, he has a pretty interesting
He does.
story.
The one that was really impressed me more than anyone was the guy who he had lost his right arm, and he raced flat track ice motorcycles. And it was amazing to see him actually be able to crank it and get on it and ride it. But he was competitive.
He was very competitive, and I'm trying to think of his name right now. Jason Griffin. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that maybe yeah.
But the way they had the controls and everything, he drove left-handed, and he muscled that bike around very well. He was very competitive, and yeah.
Well, when you think about your weight on your left side, you really don't need the other hand to hold on. Just squeeze your legs.
Just being able to, to have the arm strength to control it. Sometimes we drive one-handed anyway. We just kind of let it guide the other hand, but still. It was very awkward to see it too. It was awkward.
It was very awkward to see it, but he was very impressive.
How many late model drivers we see at Langley and they're riding around with their arm on the bars, driving with their left hand?
Too many.
Yeah.
Well, they're smoking a cigarette too, so that's beside the point.
Yeah, we were
distracted.
That's right.
They don't do it as much as they used to, but I know quite a few of them that used to do it.
Oh yes.
You think those cars must really be easy to drive if you can just tootle along like this to drive that thing. Okay.
Yeah, let that power steering go away.
Yeah, change their mind real quick.
See what happens then.
Well, I think most of them are doing like the one-finger salute while they're doing that too.
Well, I've seen some of them. They start the race off. The guy that drives the 34 car, he's real bad about that.
Paul DeBolt.
Yeah, I think he drives like that.
Danny Baker used to do it. Roger Sawyer used to do it.
I did it from
Roger
time to
Brehm
time
used
when
to do it.
Got monotonous, and you're just sitting there going around, and nothing there to battle against it.
Right.
I've never been able to do that.
So I'm too busy chasing the tail to be worried about letting up,
Yeah, you're not supposed to be chasing tail out on the track.
I mean, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, rephrase that.
Your girlfriend's going to get, your wife's going to get a little peeved at you.
That's true.
Well, that's not the type of tail he was talking about.
That was a total Freudian slip. I know.
I knew exactly what you meant.
Right. Yeah,
I've seen you drive.
Cool. Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. But the racing was cool, wasn't it, man? I mean,
yeah, it was really
fun.
cool, and I thought they put on a very good program.
Yeah, it
was cold inside, and it was warm outside.
It was great.
A lot of locals showed up for amateur quads and karting.
Yeah.
So.
They karting on the ice?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, nitro karts, man. I want to tell you what.
We were leaning up against the guardrail. We had to walk way off. We couldn't. Our eyes were watering
from the alcohol. Nitro. But it
was great.
It was cool. David Stallings won it. Anthony Kincaid was running a kart and was running an amateur quad.
Right.
So, yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool.
Kincaid's, he's not going to let up on anything.
No, he didn't.
He just needs a zip tie to pull the throttle.
And let her eat, yeah. And that's pretty much what he did. He was leading the amateur quads and he spun it out. He never let up. He just did a 360 and kept right on going. But he did pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun.
He did very well. He's becoming the Kenny Schrader of the local area because he'll race anything. He'll jump on it and he'll race anything.
Surprised you didn't see Sean Beluso out there then.
It wasn't for charity.
Ah.
That's right. That's right. Check
this out. I think he was getting ready to go to Carolina this weekend. I think he was going to an auction.
Was he? Yeah. Cool.
So.
It had to be cold because when Terri got home, all she would do was shiver.
It was cold inside that.
It was cold in there.
The first thing she went looking for was the bed and a bunch of blankets.
I was wrapped up.
It was cold. And we went out on the ice for about 20 minutes and got some pictures with one of the quads. And we stood out there for about 20 minutes.
Where's my camera?
I forgot it. I was in a rush to get out of here.
I'll tell you what. I told the other day, I said, don't forget my camera. He says, don't worry, I'll bring it to the show.
have to
Cool.
text it to him. He'll remember that.
And
Don't
Yeah,
want
he
to be like
should
one of the
have.
kids. Put it on his Facebook page.
Right. So
I'd
everybody-
only read it when I got
tattoo
here.
it to his forehead.
There you go. That's
Right.
a little posted.
I'd only read it when I got here, so.
Cool. So all the Cup guys are in Daytona tomorrow. 3 days of testing tomorrow.
I thought they tested today, too.
I don't know. Somebody needs to let us know that. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Everybody was flying down today.
Right.
Maybe it was ARCA or somebody that was testing today.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with their
Go to
packages.
NASCAR.com and try to test.
Go to Daytona Speedway.
Are they testing
That's right.
tires? Is it Goodyear tire test
Oh.
or is it car test?
It's
I
a
know-
it's an open test.
It's an open test because of the new fuel injection
Oh, so they're actually. I thought they weren't doing that till
Nope,
2013.
fuel injection this year.
this year.
They also the new rules for the Daytona, smaller,
Spoiler valence,
smaller on the spoiler, larger on the
restrictor plate.
restrictor plate, smaller on the radiator as far as the amount
Well,
of
now, wait a
pressure it
second.
can hold.
Are they going to have a restrictor plate with the new fuel injector?
Yes, they are. It's going to be larger. They're basically going to make the car faster, take away some of the handling. They're also the reservoir for the extra water for the radiator is going to be also smaller. So therefore, it's going to make an engine that much easier to heat up too quick. They're going to have to break away and they can't keep maintaining contact. And with the lower spoilers, it'll make the cars a little squirrely. So guess what? We're going to see some real driving and racing.
200 miles an hour.
Hey, they did it before. I mean, they can go back to regular drafting. They just can't bump draft.
Right.
Old school.
The slingshot could be coming back.
You know, I tell you what's really cool, and Roger and I were talking about it earlier. If you go on YouTube and you click on to like 1968 Daytona 500 with the fastback Torinos that they ran, and watch Yarborough and those guys running, they're actually dirt tracking around Daytona through those corners just to get in it. And I'd really like to see them get back to that point to where they got to, finesse those race cars around that corner so it's flat footing around through there.
So in other words, they're going to go the opposite way, and they're going to try to make these guys so they have to lift.
Right.
Yeah.
That smaller spoiler is going to make the car
Wasn't
so
that what we
loose.
said at the end of last year? To take away the handling.
I still think you need to give them a blade that wide and that tall, and just stick them so hard to the ground that they can't go anywhere.
Right.
You know,
But-
Darrell
so
Waltrip said that a couple of years ago.
So where's
and I
the
agree
challenge
with
to
that.
the race? All they're going to do is keep the foot down to the floor the whole time around the track.
That's all they're doing anyway.
That's all they're
But
doing
the thing
anyway.
is, now they won't be able to.
I
They
guarantee
won't be able
they'll
to go
figure
nose
out
to
how to make
tail.
them cars.
They'll
They're
find
going to
a
have a
way.
looser tail, so they're going to have to lift.
That's why they got them expensive engineers sitting around. They're going to go tweaking shocks. And
That's right.
they'll find a way.
They'll find a way.
I put a text in. I sent a message to one of the guys, the engineers on one of the teams. Hopefully, get him on the show next week. And
Oh, great.
Tell you
Yeah.
what they're doing.
from the champions.
Cool.
They'll either have it dog tracking a little more to get the spoiler out there. They plan it just like they've been doing. They'll find a way.
But they're probably going to set only so far they can grab crawl it.
They'll move the bodies. Who knows?
They're pretty. You know what? They're pretty strict on doing that stuff. They
Crab claw.
they got lined up pretty good. NASCAR's pretty. There's not a lot of tweak room on that anymore, like it
Well,
used to
they're
be
gonna-
in the day.
They had that week that Edwards won, and they claimed he had that cap off in the back, that was making the handling difference. I'm like, if something that small can make such a big difference, you win the race, then something else.
Well, the cap was that big.
Well, no, just the fact that something inside the car can make you a dominant car.
Right.
I have a hard time
And I don't
believing.
think. I don't think that would made him
But
dominant.
that's what they were blaming.
But you can do anything. You can open up holes. You can cover over holes, so that you either create aerodynamics or create drag. There's lots of stuff. There's stuff you can do underneath the car too. I'm still waiting to see that coming into play. When they start putting stuff underneath the car.
Well, that's why they were trying to put a bigger oil pan
Right.
underneath of
Make
it.
flatter.
Yeah.
And also get weight down.
Low weight.
Jim Boyle says make the drivers lift off the gas and stop blaming Goodyear for the tires. I didn't know they were blaming Goodyear for the tires.
Oh, they do.
They're always blaming Goodyear for something.
You just
Well,
ask
that's
Tony
true.
Stewart; he'll tell you.
Well, you got to
I don't know. He's been pretty good about
But I mean, he's
Here lately.
he's fussed and complained, but he still dealt with it,
yeah.
and he kept on getting it, as witnessed at the end of last year. Ah.
Yeah. I know. Cool.
They said the cars to make them lift. The question is, are they going to lift? Because now, how many more spin outs and how many more big wrecks are going to have that the cars are wild?
Well,
Exactly.
we got 3 days to
Exactly.
find out. We got 3 days of finding out what they're going to do.
They'll tweak it.
Jim's telling us RPM's going to announce sponsorship tomorrow afternoon for the 43.
Cool. That's great.
But we've already heard the rumor who it might be, and I can see that. That'd be a good pairing.
Who?
Smithfield Foods.
That'll be great.
So that ought to be
Yeah.
a pretty good
Who are they
pairing.
going to have driving?
As long as it ain't
Eric
Eric
Amarella.
Amarola.
as long as it ain't Hostess.
Didn't they file bankruptcy?
That's why I said
But
that.
it's
Hostess did?
Hostess. Twinkies are going to be going away.
Hostess with the
Ding
least
dong.
business.
Oh, no.
I guarantee that's just a realignment.
Yeah.
They said
And
Best
then
Buy is
now
only
when
going to be
chapter-
around for another year.
then there's
They're
chapter
gonna shut
11.
them down.
Not chapter 7, but chapter 11.
So realignment. Yep.
One's one, one's the other. Who knows?
Cool.
11 means they're going to pay back all the debt. 7 means they ain't going to pay back any of the debt. And that
I
would
was
close
reading
it down.
through that. They've got a ton of debt.
Oh, I bet they do.
Yeah, they'll get
Speaking
that
of
right
debt,
or something.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. also filed for bankruptcy this week.
Did he really?
Yeah. When you look, it's on speed.com, and when you read how much he owed, it's obscene. It's shocking that people owe that much money.
Yeah, but was that in debt incurred from when his father
No,
was?
that was his own stuff.
That was his own.
It just happens, but when you try to put a race team together and invest in property and run businesses, and then things don't work out, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I saw on Race Wrap that they had something about Rusty Wallace showing up closing up the Nationwide.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's shutting down
Yeah,
his whole
he's got all
unless he
his
gets
extra
sponsorship.
Cars. He's turned it into a museum, basically.
Well, that's sad because I thought his son was, becoming an up and comer.
Well, but they lost
They lost 5 Hour Energy to
5
Waltrip.
Hour Energy to Michael Waltrip, so and that was their primary sponsor.
But Monster just signed up with Kyle Busch for, Carmichael. He's going to be driving one with Monster.
Well, he has been. Monster's been his
Right.
sponsor.
Since
Been
his
Ricky
dirt bikes.
Carmichael since his dirt
But
bike.
I saw on Race Wrap that it said that he was signing up with Kyle Busch Motorsports to run
That's great.
either a truck or Nation. I think it was Nationwide.
It could be. I know he was at Turner. I thought he was going to stay at.
Wow.
According to his filing, Bobby Hamilton Jr. lists assets of $551,000 and liabilities are $1.29 million. More than $929,000 of his liabilities are property or mortgaged or loans. While he also lists owing the IRS $198,000 for 2005 taxes.
They can get around that one.
No.
You don't get to take off IRS stuff.
So they don't matter who you are on your name. They don't.
It'd be a whole bunch.
No,
of
but he's still got to list who and what he
Oh,
owes.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. Well, you're going to pay it back or not. You're government. You're going to pay it back.
They'll get first dibs.
That's a shame. But,
Yeah, but what else can you do?
right.
I mean, he tried. He
It's
had
the
a
nature of the
track.
business, right.
Well, you only hear about it because of his name.
Yeah.
There could be, how many
Exactly.
other Joe Blows out there having the same problem, but we don't hear about it because he's not in the race.
Yes.
Exactly.
I remember having to do that many years ago when I got out of the military. There was no jobs,
Right.
no debt coming out. And I said, okay. Talked to a friend of mine who was an attorney. He said, just do it back.
Get it all done and over
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't do it again for 7 years.
Anyway, those are the negatives. The positives are there's a lot going on in the sport that's really positive, a lot of cool things. season's kicking off. Chili Buzz this weekend.
Matter of fact, they ran a prelim
Right.
last night.
Yep.
Wasn't
Right.
it?
Yep. We had a race last night.
And that'll be going on until Saturday.
Too.
Yeah,
Right.
tonight, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
Some people, when we were posting about the show tonight, they were saying that they're going to probably be listening to the Chili Bowl on the radio.
Yay!
It's on the internet.
Wherever. It's still on the radio.
Yeah, on the
Oh.
radio.
It's like they still think we're radio on the internet.
I know.
That's because you can get the radio on the internet. So just assume.
You can get TV on the internet too.
That's true.
You get it on your phone.
You get it on
That's
your phone,
right.
Anything you want to do.
It's cool beans.
And now all of a sudden, who do we say was Danica Patrick's crew chief? Wasn't it going to be Greg Zicpadelli?
Yeah, Zippy, but you're looking at the car chief. She's got to do car chief. Came from.
Jason Radcliffe.
Yeah, just Beckley. Right.
Doesn't say, it says crew chief.
They had it listed as car chief the other day, about 2 days ago.
Well, it's crew chief, then down below Greg Zicpadelli, Stuart Haas, crew chief. But it's got Jason Radcliffe.
Zippy's supposed to be her crew chief.
Yeah.
Somebody else on the Zippy.
We'll see. We'll see.
Radcliffe must be the car chief.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, you didn't know his name.
I said the new guy who came on board was the car chief. It's because I don't know
Right.
his name. I knew
Right.
where he was going.
Okay.
It's all in the details.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, I wonder where Joe is.
He pops up on Facebook from time to time. He's one of my favorite people. He's one of my favorite people.
He's supposed to be putting together a Rolling Thunder ride.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, not a
No,
Rolling
or,
Thunder.
Southern
Wheeling.
Modified.
Southern Modified.
Southern
That's what
Modified.
we
I see him every now and then.
Go, Joe.
Well, we had him in here.
Call in, Joe, if
Yeah,
you're watching.
I mean, I talk to him every now and then. He was
Yeah.
on,
Well, he's here last week. That's what it was.
no, 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
No.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
He didn't say anything about his ride.
Yeah, he's working on it.
He's working on it.
They're working on getting
Does he
it
plan on
done.
doing that full time and not doing any local, or
I think he's going to do a little bit. He'll end up doing a little bit of local stuff. Rumor has it Modifieds are not back at Southside this year.
I saw that they weren't changing any of the rules, whether or not they're going to do.
And I heard they're not NASCAR this year
Right,
either.
that they saw
There
that.
was-
on
there was
Facebook,
something
they're not
else
doing
that
that.
Yeah, they're not.
There was
They
another
did
fact.
announce it.
Yeah, they said because they didn't want to change the rules because of the their late models are only for that track because they got unlimited motors and 8-inch tire, where anywhere else you go they don't fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Track specific.
yeah,
Yeah, tracks. And I've never understood that. But that's my opinion.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
why, like,
You
when
know, I
Mike was
never
the limited
understood.
late models there for a few years.
It was track specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about sponsors. Belkin. You know who Belkin is?
Wireless, yeah.
No. They're a cable manufacturer.
Right.
Okay, they make cables for like computers and everything else like that. They're going to be sponsoring Jamie McMurray.
Okay.
What happened to Bass Pro Shops?
Didn't know they left.
Well, you just said
They're going to be sponsoring with Jamie
yeah,
McMurray.
it must be
To the tune of about $1.5 million, which means they're just going to be associate sponsors.
Yeah.
extra sticker.
Extra sticker on the car.
Right.
Yeah.
extra sticker on the car.
I think they're going to have the car for Martinsville.
They
And-
probably did 3 races, probably primary for that.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Full-time
specified
associate.
Martinsville, so-
Right.
I'll put their sticker on my car for that kind of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on the hood.
Absolutely.
The whole
Darn
damn
right.
family thing.
You'd drive one-handed for that, wouldn't you?
Heck yeah, I'd give it a
That's
shot anyway.
That's right.
As long as Dad didn't see it, I'd be all right. Somebody else was
Yeah.
owning the car.
Yep. I got my, by the way, I got my sprint car deal put together for Knoxville and probably 10 World of Outlaw events this year, so that's cool.
You gonna be able to hit the one here, they usually have here at Saluda?
Probably, well, I'm going to try to get the guy, Scott Gaplin's my team owner. He's out of Knoxville. He bases out of Knoxville. And really what we're looking at doing is running the full card at Knoxville Raceway, the Nationals, in 10 or 15 World of Outlaw events. We'll probably do the West Coast swing with that. That's kind of my ground, my territory anyway, so
I missed the one here.
it'll be fun to do.
been fun. to
Well,
have
they
somebody to
didn't.
root for.
They didn't have the sprint cars
I thought they did
last
this year.
They just had the late models.
I think I went to
They
year
could-
before and they had them.
Yeah, they couldn't pull enough locals.
To fill it.
Yeah, to fill it. See, when the World of Outlaws come in, they'll bring 14 or 15 guys, whoever shows up. But then they depend on the local guys to help make a full field.
Right.
No, it's sad. They put on a good show, but they were like 20 laps, 25 laps. They're not out there very long. And it seems like if one guy gets hooked up, he's gone, and the rest of the field's just running around waiting for the race to end. You get excited about seeing them because they're pulling the front end and they're ungodly fast. But qualifying's the best part because you finally get to see who's fast and who's not because the race seems boring. The late models are a whole lot more fun because they actually seem like they race and strategy and they can run enough laps.
Well, you can attest to it. I've seen them 3-4 wide coming down for the finish.
No, I haven't seen them in
sprint
other tracks,
cars.
but not
Yeah.
And I think that's also track specific too. It's like at Knoxville. It's a big old. It's not a high bank half mile, but it's a big old flat, wide open half mile, and you can get kind of strung out there too. The track gets slick. You can do a lot of racing together, but when it's fast like that, it does get. If you go to Chico, California, where it's a tight 3/8, a little high bank, it's pretty. You're on top of each other big time the whole race.
Saluda's got long straightaways.
Yeah.
Not big turns. So
Yeah.
it kind of seems like they'll try to make a move and they get close. Next thing you know, the guy's got a half track lead. You're like, what the heck happened? He was right on his tail about a second ago.
Right.
But
If you get a guy that runs there all the time, and if you get like a Steve Kinzer or something like that, he can get on his game and just walk away with it.
Right.
But there's times when everybody's just going to be, on top of each
They're
other.
either looking for it or they've got it tied down.
Yeah.
Late models at Langley, usually you got one or two guys running away from it. But look what the K&N did when they were there. They were 3-4 wide trying to win that race.
Right.
It was
Right.
that
that kind of race.
it was that kind of race. So
Fun stuff though. It's all fun. It's
yeah,
cool.
it's all fun.
Well, the
I'm looking
K&Ns,
forward
they
to
get a
it.
little more. I don't, not to say talent, but as far as they have more teams that are of equal quality that can stay together, and then even a team that may not be as good but it has a good driver, 150 laps into the race, it could be who saved, or who's still left, and that can make a difference coming to the end.
We seen what's his name go 2 laps down and come back and damn near win the race. The kid that races for Michael Waltrip. My mind's drawing a blank right now.
Oh, what's his name? Give me a second out here.
We met him. We've had him on the show.
Which we've had lots
The
of
00, the race for the K&N race for Michael Waltrip.
Oh, you're talking about who?
You're gonna make me look for it.
Yes.
Google it. Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
Just
do.
Pena, Sergio Pena.
No,
No.
no, but he did not make the
Diversity.
diversity.
Really? Wow. I watched the video they had on Langley about it. I figured he would be a shoo-in.
Yeah, I was told.
'Cause he was already signed. Didn't he already have a contract going with?
It was just 2 years, and where did I see that? He put something up.
Yeah, because even on the video he had on the Gibbs Racing Toyota fire suit. There was a lot of girls. I was surprised how many girls there was.
Yeah.
That was involved in that.
And I think most of them we've had on the show, we've talked to them before and everything else. So it was nice to be able to physically meet them and be able to talk to them.
It's sad that they keep it as like a young group.
Yeah.
They
I
keep
think
it,
that's what's it.
Why isn't there a group out for the rest of us that might have a shot? Not that even that I would. But there's so many other people out there that given the right opportunity. Why couldn't they grab a ride like that?
That's one of my pet peeves. I totally agree with you. I think this whole age thing is really, really, really not fair.
Right. Because you look like Eddie Johnson, his son Chris, with having Eddie as his coach all these years, he might have some real talent, running late models, everything, running modifieds, but he's at that age bracket where he's just past that, and of course he's following his dad's footsteps, so he's kind of has to jump on his own. He might be a good one that can jump right in there. He's got enough talent and push behind him, but the money's not there to go big time. So, there's all kinds
it
of
would be nice if you could create a team, get some good dollars behind you from a sponsor, and advertise it that you're there to take and test new talent.
Right. Well, why isn't CE too old for a job like that?
No, and I think he's working on getting. He's trying to move up. I know that.
Well, but why didn't he even have a shot at the diversity program?
He's not Mexican. He's not black. He's not female.
Oh, okay. So they really are narrowing it down.
Yeah, that's the whole reason for the diversity.
Right, they really are.
So if you're white male, forget it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good to give people an opportunity.
Right.
Just like they have programs for college and stuff like that. But then again, are we forcing somebody into it that may not have the skills that somebody else could jump into
And you see that.
go and do something with
You see that.
Well, they started with 15, 25 drivers, I forget, they had out of Langley. And it was automatically whittled down.
And did they all have prior late model experience, or were they just grab them from anywhere?
Nope.
Wow, Langley's a tough track to suddenly get thrown into a K&N car and go out there.
It
I know they wadded one of them up.
They did water.
They wadded both of them up.
Two of them up.
Two of the three, and they were supposed to run two different times around the track, and they had to stop because by the time they wadded up the second one, they still had 8 drivers yet to go in the third car, and it took extra time to set them up, and because normally they would be setting up the car while the other one's running and adjusting everything for the driver. Now they had to hop in, adjust everything, and then try to send them out as quick as they could.
Turn 2.
And it was just...
Turn 2 got them? What a surprise.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked it. It's great to have Langley be involved with that. That's a tough track for somebody that's supposed to try to be showing themselves off.
Yeah.
And, I don't...
Well, the whole idea... they gave them a lot of track time to warm up and practice. So they all got their own tires. They got to run out quite a few laps. You could learn the track. There were people out there. CE was out there. Beluza was out there. To talk to some of the drivers, and they actually got in vehicles and drove the line with them.
Yeah, but you can talk yourself to death on Langley Speedway until you get out there and stick the nose in and hit the brake and hit the gas and feel it move.
Right. Drive it off into turn 1.
Yeah, because 1 and 2 is different. 3 and 4.
Right.
Southside would be a better track as far as being more consistent. 1 and 2 is the same as 3 and 4 on that respect. But of course, it's too small for the K&N, to really show.
Well, in this environment, you're going to find out who your people are going to stand out.
Right.
Who can learn quick, who can adapt, and that's what they're needing. If you get out there and you can't do it and you wad it up within a few laps, and I think it was wadded up by the third driver, the first car.
Now with Kinley back fronting again, that would be an awesome track there. Half mile, high bank.
Have you heard anything on that?
They had a drivers meeting last weekend.
They did.
Yeah. They're already supposed to be working on the schedule.
I forgot who bought that.
Some, like you said, investment group. There's a couple guys that bought it. And I know they keep putting plugs in on Race Wrap about it.
Because the hardest thing I saw about the Kinley was it was in a nice location for racing, but trying to bring local sponsors, you weren't close enough to the larger cities to get somebody in there.
That's a fun track though. That high bank, that track is a blast.
I've been out there with Lubno when he went out there to run when they had the large races at the end of the year.
We got to see the Hooters Cup before they switched to wherever they are now. See them watch. We're there with the Legends. Man, they put on a show.
Hooters, yeah. Back in the day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's now the USAR broke up.
Oh, it's nice. You're used to watching the late models. And you go with the Legends and you're there with your little car and you're like, oh man, the big boys are going to be here, and they get to see them run and tear stuff up and the strategy and pit stops and stuff. That was compared to just watching the locals like we had been.
Yeah.
That was really fun because back then Langley didn't bring in the big boys like they are now. Mm-hmm. Now you can go to Langley. You might pick the right weekend. You can show up and there could be a big race going on.
There could be a big race. Yeah.
I'm watching the tour mods come in. Those guys are unbelievable, and K&N, and we had Pro Cup. Seeing those big names and those wild cars. And, it's some other way they race is almost like the same Saturday night. They don't care. They crashing each other and they're going for it.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And then the race to get off of pit road at the end of the night. That's a whole.
Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt. He's a good shoe.
He's a dirt track. He's a dirt
track
boy.
racer, sprint car racer, midget racer. Yeah.
Still better you took 10 minutes to find that.
I was going to find it. I was bound and determined to find that.
Matt was focused.
I was focused.
He was on it.
I found it too, doggone it.
Cool beans.
Okay.
So is it
Now, do you remember what the discussion was about it?
Excuse me?
Do you remember the discussion why you were looking for him?
Because he was racing for Michael Waltrip Racing. He was.
Stop right there. There's a footnote, a trivia note here with Michael Waltrip Racing versus the Red Bull team, and rumor has it was
He was trying to buy it.
he was trying to buy it, and also they thought they would be able to get the points for it for them to run at Daytona the first 5 races. So now I guess that's not going to work out.
Well, Mark Martin should be guaranteed in. No, he's not.
Because it's a car, isn't it?
It's
a
the
car
car.
that
Clint
retains
Boyer would
points,
not be the
name.
15. Probably does not have points. Well, Mark Martin's going in the 00. David Ruinman finished in the top 35, right?
But they're transferring those numbers over to the points over to the 15 car for.
So Mark will have to race his way in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shouldn't be that big of a deal.
As long as they got decent stuff.
Yeah.
But is Michael? I guess they're going to run 4 cars, aren't they, at Daytona?
Michael will get in because of a previous winner.
Yeah. Provisional.
Am I right on that?
Yeah.
No,
Your previous winner at Daytona?
but it has to be previous winner of the Cup.
Champions provisional.
Right.
That's right.
Not-
Yeah, it'll
not
have to be a
Daytona
champions
500. 'Cause
provisional.
he missed the show. Then it wouldn't.
Yeah, so he could possibly miss the show. I doubt it.
Their cars are fast.
Yeah.
Look, they got those cars running good.
Rudiman's going to a truck team.
And he's going to run for front row too, I think. No, he's going to run for Tommy Baldwin.
He's going to drive one of Paul Baldwin's cars. Is what's his name coming back?
Blaney.
Dave Blaney
Yeah,
coming
he and
back.
Blaney. It's going to be 2 cars. Tommy Baldwin. Rudiman's going to run 26 races that they have funded, and then whatever they can put
If they
together.
can get enough funding
Sure.
to run the rest of the races.
Yeah.
That'll take you up to the chase anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully do good by then.
Or pretty close to it.
Right.
You got
I'm pulling
36 races.
for Rudiman. 'Cause I like him. He's a great driver. He got started late. He's one of those deals where age is a thing.
Yeah.
And he's a great driver. And he's also been he's basically been racing with one arm behind his back, because he started with Michael Waltrip and went through those first couple of years where they were struggling to get their game together. And he was really the highest performing driver throughout the history of Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yeah. He got him his first
numbers,
win.
right?
In his second win.
He's got their only wins.
Yeah, he's got their
And,
only wins.
Whatever the reason was for them to release him.
It could have been something in the sponsors. The sponsors wanted
Absolutely.
somebody different. Mark Martin came available, and they all probably said, "Man, we want Mark Martin."
True.
And that could have been
It makes sense. They were looking for some veteran leadership for the team.
One name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Andy Hillenberg, if I remember correctly, they're about halfway done with the safer barrier walls down in Rockingham.
Cool. That's great.
they had to put them up. Yeah.
I can't wait.
That
My first and
that'll be
only
some good
sprint cup race at Rockingham.
at Rockingham.
Spun that puppy out down the back straightaway. Backwards.
That could be easy to do.
Oh yeah. Bobby Allison did it. I wasn't too. I was in good company.
Couldn't be outdone.
I'm
Yeah.
sure the list of names is long and distinguished.
Yeah.
Who spun
Mr.
out
Dunleavy's
at
told me I was the
Rockingham?
luckiest
That's
person
gotta
on
be big.
earth.
Spun it out and collected into the wall.
Well, I pulled back in
And
the
I don't
field.
ever think that track has actually had decent pavement on it.
No, it's slick. It's so.
It's always been rough and slick.
But it's fun. You just got to
It's
get
nice
used to it.
and nice banking on it.
Yeah. Mr. Dunleavy told me I was the luckiest person on earth because I didn't hit the wall.
And he's been
Germain
running-
Racing switches manufacturers from Toyota to Ford and getting engines from. Yep.
Roush Yates. Wow.
Hmm.
There'll be more Fords in the field. That's a good thing.
This is true.
Don't get me wrong. Dodge needs to step up.
I think so too.
I honestly think I do. Penske's running really tough with the Dodges. I think Dodge needs to step up and really catch up to Chevrolet and Ford. and Toyota.
They won some races on some power this year, though.
Yeah, they did. But they probably need a little help in the aerodynamics.
Where was their weak point during the season? Where were they?
Actually, short tracks.
Short tracks was their
they did
weakest
good
spot.
on the big tracks.
Seemed like a mile and a half.
Yeah, I was going to say the miles and the mile and a half. I think they did really well. And
Brad did halfway decent on road course though too.
yeah, Brad did really good on the road course.
Think
They
he
actually
won?
did good at Daytona too. They just kind of
Didn't he win at Pocono right after he won?
Yeah.
He hurt his foot and he won the road course. He won like 2 or 3 races in a row right after he hurt
He
his
won a
foot.
nationwide race the next weekend after the leg or foot issue, and then he got a second place the next week, and I think he won. Following after
yeah.
that.
He won. Yeah, he won like 3 races in a row. You're right. He won like 3 in a row.
I thought he won at Pocono or Michigan or something like that.
It could have been Pocono.
Because it was before the chase.
Yeah, it was. And that's what got him into the chase. Was those wins.
I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction that Kurt Busch and Phoenix Racing are the sleepers for the series this year.
They picked up a sponsor too.
They got good technology. Those race cars are fast.
That's James Finch car.
Right.
He's been around
It's
forever.
Hendrick, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty much Hendrick. So he'll be. I think he'll be tough.
I think there'll be 5 or 10 races in there that they'll beat.
Yeah, I think they'll be tough.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt put a little bit of his own money into it to
Probably.
make sure he's got some
Probably.
well-funded equipment.
That remainder of that contract.
Probably. A big sleeper this year, Reagan Smith.
Yeah, I agree.
Did
This
he
could be
change
this.
teams?
Yeah.
With
Furniture Row, he's staying?
Furniture Row. I think he's going to be tough.
Yeah.
They looked mighty solid after that win at Darlington. They were really solid after that.
My sleeper TS.
He's going to have a tough road to hoe this year. I'm still. He can do it. I honestly think he can do
I
it.
think he'll come back
Carl
and
Edwards is going to be right there again.
That's great. I
You
love
know?
it. Everybody, get up there.
I think Casey Kane's going to come out and win a couple this year.
Yeah.
It may actually get to the point where anybody has an actual chance to try to win.
I think so. I think Jimmy Johnson ruling everything, but he's going to be tough. Jeff Gordon looked good this year.
He did.
You know,
Hamlin might come back.
Hamlin, yeah. Hamlin. AJ Allmendinger looked really tough in them Fords last year.
The biggest thing.
Really came on.
The biggest thing is going to be accidents. How far they're going to push the motors with the new fuel injection. What's going to be the failure rates.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the whole top 20 is just chock full of big budgets and great drivers and great crew chiefs. So it's going to be interesting.
But
Spit it out, Matt.
Share it, baby.
Kick it.
we're talking about James Finch. He's never been that good of a team. You know, he's never had a solid team. But with Kurt Busch coming in, he'll really step up. I think you're going to see single car teams be a lot more stronger.
Right. Right. And they have all that Hendrick technology. I mean, he's tight.
They're not coming in their own cars. They're coming in with Hendrick, just
Right.
like Stewart. You know,
Right.
he came in.
It's
and
the same thing.
He
He had
walk in with a
he didn't
Stewart car.
have he walked in with
Hendrick stuff.
and still does Hendrick cars.
Yeah.
Hendrick built cars, Hendrick built motors.
And one thing too, Kurt Busch is engineering savvy. He's pretty sharp when it comes down to setups and what's what, shock technology, yada yada yada. So I think he's going to bring some of that and parlay that into the team, which they really have never had.
Yeah.
You know, they've never had that.
Hey, Devin, if you're listening, don't forget to call in.
Hey, Devin.
And what about Danica Patrick? Think she'll do anything nationwide this time around?
She's going to be.
We had somebody do a hellacious prediction. Go ahead, let's hear about Danica with you. What do you think?
I don't know if she's earned the respect out of the drivers. You know, I mean, she's getting in on just who she is at this point. She's got to prove herself.
But lately, she's been finishing halfway decent.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The Nationwide Series, with the budget that she has, the teams that she's with, top 15, she should be able to do that with her eyes shut. So it's going to come down to that point. Once you start nibbling up there in that top 15 every week, where you're really challenging and racing and rubbing, It's a whole different ball game than just waiting until somebody falls out,
And she's going to be there every week. I
Right.
think she's only going to get better.
So she's going to have to. She's very capable of running top 15 every week.
Al Pierce sat here on this show and said Danica will win a race this year.
I don't think so.
Yellow, let's talk racing.
Hey, it's Devin Jones.
Hey, Devin, hold on. You're live on the air, but hold on.
Right.
Jim Boyle just asked a question, and that's actually a pretty good question. Do you think there's going to be... Why did you time me out, you turkey? Do you think there will be a first-time winner at Daytona again this year?
That's a tough one.
Good chance.
I don't know. I think Allmendinger might have a shot at it, and I think Tony Stewart's definitely going to help Danica Patrick out. But I don't know. Anything can happen at Daytona.
I don't think we'll see Danica. I don't think he'll help him out at some other places, but I don't think at Daytona.
There, but when it comes down to that last lap, he's gone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The good old setup. But like you said, it's still gonna it's gonna be a whole learning curve because you're gonna have so many people that have to go back to doing real drafting instead of bump drafting.
And the big one could take out half the field and be who's left there.
Yeah.
It's true.
We've seen those before.
Roll the dice time too.
So flat tire on the last lap. Next thing you know, Earnhardt's not winning, and Derek Cope is. Anything can happen.
But you got to be there.
Gotta be there.
Derek Cope had to be in that second place
They were fast
position.
all year. They were fast all
And they
year.
were fast. That was the only one he won, but he had
Well, no, he
to
won
be
Dover
there.
too. He won Dover that year.
Did he win Dover?
Yeah, he sure did. Yep.
What team was that?
That was I can't
Come
think of
on.
the guy's team, but Buddy Parrott was the crew chief.
Yep.
So yeah,
And Buddy went on to where? He went somewhere else right
Rusty
after that.
Wallace.
Yeah, it was Rusty, and
Yep.
he won with quite a bit with Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won with Darrell Walker too before.
I got a trivia
he
for
did
you.
stuff.
Dale Inman won 8 championships. And Devin, you can get in on this too. Who was the 8th championship for? You probably know it, but you
I
can't
know
say
it.
it. Don't Google it.
I know who it is.
Don't Google it.
I know exactly.
You know
I
who
don't
it
even
was?
know who that is.
Devin, you know who it was?
That's tough.
I know who it is.
Dale Inman was Richard Petty's crew chief.
Terry Labonte.
It was Terry Labonte. He won
Duh.
8. Yeah, that was his 8th championship.
Duh.
It was with Terry Labonte.
Or wasn't it?
Why do I
Do what?
getting excluded out of these trivia questions?
It was with the 44 team. Who was the Piedmont Air?
Piedmont Airlines, light blue.
Yeah.
Little red thing running down the side.
Little red thing that running down the side. So, and they were with who before that?
Who Piedmont was with before that?
Mickey
Yeah.
Rudd. Mickey Rudd.
It was Ricky Rudd.
How come I know all this stuff?
It was
I was
Ricky
thinking-
Rudd in the Childress car, number 3.
Exactly.
It was just before Dale Earnhardt went to race for Richard Childress.
God, I can remember some of that stuff running around Richmond. Jeez. It's pretty sad.
All right, Devin, how in the heck you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. We're sitting here just kind of shooting the bull, having a good time. Tell us a little bit about yourself for the listeners that have never heard of you. Let's get your name out there.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Southern California racing go-kart. Did that for about 5 years. Won 3 national championships in karts. Moved out here in 2007 when I was 12 to further my racing career. And ran legend cars for a little bit. Got second in the summer shootout. Won about 10 races in that. Moved up in 2009 to super late models and passed out. We ran a partial schedule in 2009, and in 2010 we ran the full schedule. Had some pretty good runs, a lot of top 5s. Bad luck kept us out of victory lane. We were leading at some races and had motor problems, but still a good year for us overall there. And then 2011 we ran some open wheel cars in the Skip Barber Racing Series. Had some podiums at Homestead Miami Speedway. And after that, now we're starting to run late model stock cars in UARA, and we're going to go for the UARA title next year.
Cool. So we're stepping up, past UARA, but you're going to run a full season of them. got any sponsors coming on with you?
My full sponsor right now is shorttrackaction.com. They're a short track news site, and they're helping us out a little bit this year. We're still looking for some full sponsorship for next year, so we're on the hunt for that.
Well, sure. Tell us who that was again. I'm sorry, I spaced off for a second. Short Track Action?
Yeah.
Aren't they an online site?
Yeah, they cover a lot of short track racing stuff in the southeast and even all around the country. A lot of late model stuff. Even they actually have a few open wheel news on there too. So it's a really good site. Everyone should check it out if you want to keep up with short track racing.
You said you went from Legends into these past late models. How big of a difference was that?
It's a big difference. Legend cars are the big difference for sure. Late models, it's a lot bigger, longer races. Definitely a tough adjustment, but legend cars are kind of the thing of their own. You learn car control, but you use the bumper a lot more than anything. It's shorter races. They're 25-lap races. In late models, you got races that are 250 laps, 150 laps, especially in pass. And fast, it's good competition there. And the super late model has a lot more power, 600 horsepower. Definitely weighs a lot more. And it's a completely different aspect of racing coming from those two types of cars.
What do you prefer to drive? And I want you to take out all this, you're running late models or that. What did you prefer to drive?
Right now, I've enjoyed the late model stock stuff because I think the late model stock it takes a lot of finesse. You really have to set up your passes, and it's really a lot more battling. You could go side by side with someone for 30 laps and not even gain anything. You could be side by side for a long time, and you got to set up where you got to go. It's a lot more inside outside, and it's a lot more lanes open up. Whereas in the super, it's more one lane, and you got enough power to where you can really pass people easier. And the late model stock, since it's so heavy and you got so little brakes, and it's a big momentum car, so you got to keep your momentum up. You got to go kind of places where the other drivers aren't. And I think that's a really cool challenge that I've really enjoyed moving into late model stock.
Have you found a favorite track yet?
I've been to a lot of different tracks, especially last year with the open wheel stuff. Gosh, there's so many to choose for. Probably in the open wheel cars, I really enjoy going to probably Lime Rock in Connecticut. That's a really cool open wheel track, and it's similar to oval because I think I did better there because it was similar to like oval tracks, but there's like 8 right turns and 1 left turn, so that's a cool track. And I've been to Hickory so many times in a late model, and it seems like that's turned into kind of my home track, and I enjoy that track. But overall, probably my favorite track has to be Newport Speedway in Tennessee. It's got a lot of banking, just a really cool track, and we've always run really good there. You got to have big balls to run that place for sure. A lot of fun.
One of them tracks you got to go oh shit to, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How many other tracks? Where else have you been running at? You just said you've been doing a lot of road course, but with the past series, where'd you all travel to?
We've been to Hickory, Anderson, Newport, Ace. I've been to Rockingham, Concord. We've been to Tri-County a little bit. A lot of different places in past for sure. And this year it seems we're going to end up running at some new tracks in UARA, like Kingsport and down in Tennessee. That seems like a really cool track. We'll get to go to Caraway for the first time. I haven't been to Caraway ever. And it looks like a good schedule for UARA for sure. There's still a few events that haven't been announced, but looks like a cool schedule. Last year we tried just to get used to the late model. We ran at just Hickory's local show for a little bit just to get the hang of it, setting up the car and doing all that, and enjoyed that. And hopefully that'll help us out when we run the season opener at Hickory in UARA this year.
Get him out at Langley sometime.
Huh?
Need to get him out at Langley sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can with the UARA, you're pretty close. You can go run NASCAR late models with it.
Yeah, for sure. We'll look to do that a little bit too. I heard Langley is a cool track, and hopefully we can venture out there soon.
Now, are you 15 or 16 now, Devin?
Just turned 17.
17.
Yep.
Over the hill.
Oh, he's over the
Kid.
hill now.
Over the hill, my ass. Just a kid.
He's still got 2 more years of school to go.
Yeah, 2 more years.
Too quickly, don't they?
Oh, man. Can't wait to get out, and then when you get out, you're like, oh, I wish I could go back.
Go back, yeah. Don't you wish we were running late models when we were
17?
Yeah, 17,
Oh,
18, going up to...
You knew then what you know now.
I wouldn't have spent so much money racing. That's what I would
Spent somebody else's money more often.
spent somebody else's money. I would have been down in Charlotte, busting my butt and getting a ride down there. So we're going to run UARA. You going to go run anything else this year, Devin? Or are you just going to concentrate 100% on that?
We're pretty much concentrating 100% UARA. This is the first time we're going to run pretty much the full schedule and really go after the championship in this. And hopefully after this, if we have good success in it, I think before you move up, because there's a lot of people, they're moving up, I think a little bit too quick without having too much success in what they're doing. So I want to really, in UARA this year, I want to really go out and have good success, win some races, and really get a good experience of everything. Because I've ran the Super a little bit, and now I'm running this, and I'll have a good base to win. We try to move up into K&N, or next year when I turn 18, try to put a truck ride together. I think we'll have a lot of experience, and we'll be ready for that. So we're just focusing on UARA this year, looking to go after the championship.
Whose chassis are y'all going to run this year?
We're running Performance Warehouse chassis, and we're teaming up back with Chase the Stone this year, so he'll be on the box this year for UARA.
Cool.
Yeah, this year.
What are you standing over there for? You were looking at something.
Oh, I was just checking the feed, that's all.
Okay.
Doing technical stuff. You just keep
Doing
talking.
that technical stuff, so I got to keep talking.
Yes, that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway.
Are you a football fan?
Yeah, I enjoy watching it for sure.
Okay. I'm not a big football fan, but I just became a Denver Broncos fan.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, and that's exactly, all the Tebow haters out there, he has pulled them through 7 games in a row, I think, to pull the win up. Is it 7 in a row?
He won 7 out of 8, and then they lost 3 in a row, and then he won this week.
And he just won this week.
Right.
He deserves to be credited for what he has done.
I know.
All I've ever heard was he ain't no good. He's this. He's that.
I think the thing about Tebow, I mean, he's a good leader. I think. I mean, he may not. I mean, he's not the conventional quarterback, but I mean, he's a good leader. He gets the team
You go back and look at Kenny Stabler.
ready, and they're ready to go when they go and play the game. It's the mindset, and he's good when it counts. I think that's what people need to get him credit for.
Well, he knows how to win. When he was in high school, he knew how to win. He was playing a Florida Gator. You know, as a junior, he won the Heisman Trophy and was runner-up as a senior, and won a national championship. So the kid knows how to play.
Exactly.
You know, they got to build the team. He had no off season with any of the coaches. So, you know, that's like you're showing up first week to drive a race car at the track, and you ain't never been in it the whole time.
And you ain't never been in it.
You know, the team was built around a different quarterback, on a different game plan. So it's taken him, you know, he's halfway through the season, and everybody else is at the end.
Exactly.
Exactly. But everybody's cutting him down, saying he's a bad quarterback, he's this, he doesn't deserve this, he's doing this. And I'm just like, man, this cat's...
He's
he's
outside the
bringing
box.
in the wins.
He doesn't
Right.
play like Tom Brady, you know, and those kinds of
But he's
just
not
drop
Tom
backs.
Brady.
He's not,
He's
but
his own person.
Exactly.
but he's unconventional, like Terry says, you know. But he knows how to win. At the end of the day,
what
it's W's
counts.
and L's that matter.
Fran Tarkington was another one that was
Right.
really,
Right.
you know, did
Outside the
things
box.
differently. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Fran Tarkenton wasn't even big enough to play. But guess
Yeah.
what? He's a Hall of Famer.
Well, they praised the guy that Carolina picked that was the number 1 pick.
Right.
That, you know, and he's a runner, passer. I mean, he's a little more of a true passer than what Tebow is. But at the end of the day, he still likes to run around and throw the ball and stuff like that. You know, he didn't win. He did not win as many games this year as Tebow did.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm a Tebow fan. I think
Me too.
everybody just needs to get off of him and let this man play football. He's doing it. He's doing it very well, in my opinion. He's getting the job done. Let him play. Right?
I agree.
All right.
A win's a win. A win's a win, right?
A win is a win is a win. Doesn't matter how mucky it looks, it's a win.
If you're upside down and on fire and you win,
You still win.
you still win.
They give you the trophy.
Sliding across upside down.
Call the ambulance.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, the girl won just
Yeah.
by that wreck.
Exactly.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
She got the win though.
She got it.
So
She was fast though.
You gotta be there.
yeah,
She
she
was
was
quick.
fast. She was
quick.
very smooth.
Quick.
Gotta be there to win.
She was
That's
very
simply
good,
the way it is.
and yep, she got to Derek Cope. Got to be there to win.
That's it.
If you're hanging out in the back, you ain't gonna get nowhere except in the back.
That's it. So, all right, Devin, let's let you get out of here. It's 8:00. All these guys are hungry, and we want to get out of here.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys. Hope you have a good night.
Well,
too, Al.
thank your sponsors, and you got 2 other people important in your life. Well, we can go through that real quick.
Yeah, just shorttrackaction.com. They've been a huge help to us, and they're a really cool website, and we really enjoy their support. Of course, the Business Sports Marketing is the company that owns that site, and we're looking for a few more sponsors, but we're really thankful to have them. We're gonna have a good season next year.
Well, we wish you the best, and go out and win some races, and come back, and we'll get you back on here.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, Devin.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cool.
He's a pretty good kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
If there's only one person there, just hit the speaker button.
I don't care.
Yay.
I was trying to call him back.
No, I would have had to hit redial, and I think this phone's too old to have a redial on it.
There was no redial, considering he called us. We didn't call him.
Oh, well, then, here you
Yeah,
go.
but yes, it does have a redial.
Heat
Now,
race
he's too
number
old to
7,
figure that
Jason Leffler just won it.
Oh, great.
By the way, yes, this does have a redial.
He's looking for the little droid.
I'm looking
So
for it,
that's-
yeah.
you know, where's my app? You got to go to the app
I know,
store
I
to get
know,
redial
exactly.
nowadays.
Let's see. We can go through. Bill Baker's posting from. He's down at the Chili Bowl.
Okay.
You want to give off the results?
Inslee with Ehrlich
Sure, we'll be the first ones to tell everybody.
getting a good 4th place finish. Heat race winner was Inslee. Heat race number 6, red flag. Lawler wrecks and takes out section of fence. Seen that happen before.
Oh, yeah.
Vanderweer. Jason Vanderweer won Heat 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Edwards won Heat 3. Guess who won Heat race number 1? Slammin' Sammy Swindell.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And last night, Jonathan Henry won. Racing Boys Radio has it. They're the ones broadcasting it.
Is that on the radio or on the internet? It's going to have to be on the internet if you plan on listening to it.
It's got to be. Yeah, racingboysradio.com is the one broadcasting it. They're running. They've got so many guys that want to run it. They run a section tonight, a section last night. 250 entries. Section last night, section of drivers tonight, up until Saturday, and then you win your heats or your A's or your B's, whatever. Then you get to run Saturday night. Wow. Well, actually, you got to go through a series of heats and features Saturday to race for the main event.
Wow.
Saturday night.
Sounds
It's
like Legends
kamikaze.
Nationals.
It's
All you
it's
gotta do is
kamikaze,
scrub once and you're SOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's inside an arena.
The biggest freaking thing you've ever seen. All of the trailers and cars are inside the building.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's incredible.
It's the biggest thing you've ever
The
seen.
racing service maybe just a little bit bigger than the Coliseum, wouldn't you say?
You seen the Walmart
Not
building
much.
down on Route 58?
Mhm. But
What?
it's a real long building. It's like really long.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Cattle
that.
barn.
It's that big.
I was gonna say livestock barn is what it
Livestock.
is.
But all the pits are concrete, and then there's this big down ramp that goes down to where the racetrack is. It's freaking awesome.
It is neat.
And people are crazy.
They're nuts.
Crazy.
Well, that's of any race car driver. So
I was
what
going to say, you
Yeah,
can't
they're
be too
really
sane to
crazy
start
at this
with.
event. They get crazy.
It's no holds barred.
It's like,
I mean,
you get on with
you
it.
don't pull no punches there.
I ran it in 90, and you got to get on it.
Yeah, you got to be on your toes there. It's dead serious. It's the Daytona 500 of midgets.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's a bit of a crapshoot too. It's a bit of a crapshoot because you do draw for your number for your starting position in your heat race, and you know you pull a number out where there's a lot of hot shoes in that one heat. You don't make it in the top 4. You got you're going to the B, C, D, E main, and you're cooked at that moment. So.
You're pretty much screwed unless you're Sammy Swindell or.
You know, I've seen Sammy have to start, run the E mains and work his way into it, but
a couple of years ago, Tony didn't even make it.
Yeah, it's hard. But it's fun. It's just being there is fun. It's crazy.
So, all right.
Just to say you've been there and did it.
By the way, we have a new website.
Okay.
www.go-revx.com. Go-revx.com. Check it out. Got all of our racing stuff, our schedule for next season, American Le Mans.
See if Doc would have been smart enough, we could have had it.
We'll put it up there. We'll get it up there. Doc and I built the site, and it's cool.
Is it all done now?
It's all done. We've got a lot of cool stuff up there. A lot of action. Got a great video right on the front. It's awesome. Check it out.
We'll have to do that because I can't refer. Go Terri dash.
No,
Go-revx.com.
Go-revx.
Write it on his forehead. That's only number stuff.
.com.
Or revxmotorventures.com. Anyway, cool.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Hope y'all enjoyed listening to all our bullshit, but we had a good time. Talk to y'all later. See ya!
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler built seats, bell helmets, hooker harness seat belts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, drive a 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Let's Talk Racing is brought to you by PC Doctors, Computer Sales and Services. This doctor still makes house calls. And also Hampton Incredible Tees and Signs, both located at 1248 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia.